All right. Peace, family. How's it going? What's up? It's Chi Vital, and I'm back with another gift for your toolkit. And I'm going to continue on this series for Becoming Golden for the season of bringing in and powering up that Manipura. I am not going to keep using the same language all the time because we should be growing our vernacular in all things esoteric, occultism, healing, self-development, all of that. So, peace, welcome. What's up? I'm coming to you live from Arizona. All right. Let's make sure we get our elements together. So we're going to be working with the spleen. And you all will be very excited to know that the spleen is a key organ system, a key space, the largest space for holding solar energy. Yes, folks, I'm jumping right in. All right. Y'all already, y'all been waiting, so I'm just going to jump in. Don't forget to thumbs up this video and have your notebooks out because I've already given you a Taoist secret, the esoteric practices. Consider the spleen the largest container for solar energy, and you're going to figure out why that's important, okay? So the spleen belongs to the earth element. It's shared with the stomach. For these practices of becoming golden, the enlightenment practices, with these sounds, we're going to focus on the spleen. All right? So for the earth, this one might be hard for you to guess, but I just gave you a hint. Right? So if I said the spleen is the largest container for solar energy, what color do you think the earth is associated with? We know green is out. So what color do you think we are going to associate with the earth element? You guessed it. Let me see. I like doing this with you guys. Why do a live if we're not going to engage with one another? Looky, Margina, you'll get 100. Let me put 100 in there for you. That's right. That's right. That's right. You get 100. All right. So the color is yellow. Yellow. So the earth element is associated with the power to think. Thinking. Its functional name is the minister of open-mindedness. Open-mindedness. Notice the spleen, for those of you who are trying to follow, is on the left side, left end of the stomach. Okay? So it's the opposite side of the liver. The liver is on the right, the spleen is on the left. Funny story, I used to wrestle with my brother, and he would, either kick me in my ribs, or I'd kick him in his ribs, and he would go, oh, my spleen, and be on the wrong side. And as I've gotten older and studied the body, it's good to just let you know where things are. Oh, Tamika Young, it's interesting you have the same name as my son's auntie. I wonder if it's you. Is it? I don't know. So, with the power of thinking in balance, you have a healthy sense of introspection. You also have the ability to sympathize with others, to be a deep listener. Okay? A well-balanced earth element is also going to be able to utilize their deep listening and understanding to create a gel amongst people. So they are really, really talented at being facilitators behind the scenes that help to bring communities together, and everyone's working together and hearing what some people are going through and communicating that with the others. They're very good at that. All right. They're oftentimes are just very sweet individuals and are good at creating an environment when people approach them where they feel they're approachable. People tend to open up and start sharing their stories with an earth element because that person creates a very sweet environment for them. Okay? Giving you the healthy picture of what the power of having, you may be an earth element, okay, or the power of having a balance in your earth element, your spleen and stomach, okay? So when you think of an individual who is able to be the glue, okay, this individual is also associated with the season, the late summer. So the late summer is where you have all of the parties right before everyone's going back to school, right? There's an abundance, there's a harvest. All the fruits are really sweet. All the veggies have reached their maximum growth before they need to be pulled down and picked up before they start to rot, like they see them falling down off of the trees. So imagine that this person is abundant. They bring abundance. The energy feels very, there's more than enough to share. Let me bring you in. So look at this movement, right? So they bring you in and it's like a sweet hug that holds. All right. And here's something, a tool for you guys. If you ever are feeling the opposite of this energy, you don't feel supported. You're worrying. You're overthinking, ruminating on the same thing over and over and over again. Okay? Which then leads you to be like clinging and smothering. And now it's like, you're suffocating. You can hold yourself. Okay, open your palms. Hold yourself. And just activate it. Just hold it for a moment. Okay? Hold yourself for a moment. Create that understanding for yourself. And allow yourself to get grounded. Feel the connection of your palms up against your ribs. Okay? So the function of the spleen is going to be transporting and transforming, which brings us back to this collection of solar energy. Where do we get our energy from? Not only do we get our energy from the sun, the prana that comes in, we eat food. Let's go to the basics. We eat food. The spleen helps us to pull the chi out of that food, which generates energy. However, if we overeat, then we realize that we feel sluggish. We start to go in and slouch, whereas if we eat just the right amount of the good foods on top of that, we feel energized. We feel magnetic. We're drawing in. And all of these energies, like this movement, learning to move with these sounds. See, I hear the meanings of these things and sounds. You're probably not hearing anything I'm hearing. Got it. However, learning these movements will help you to identify how you are moving vibrationally. So when you're eating, that food should be coming in, going down, and feeling good and vibrant If you're eating and then you're feeling down, then you can see things affected in the body where other parts of you start to sag, you feel bloated, there's an accumulation of water, dampness in the body. That is the spleen qi being out of balance. All right, is this making sense so far? Peace, New Orleans in the house. If you're following along, let me see, some ones in the chat. That's our language. We understand that. And if you're an occult college member, let me see your graduation caps because you get this. All right. Cool. So the power hours of the spleen are 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. which is going to follow the stomach, right? You have your breakfast, usually between 6 and 9 in the morning. So depending on what you fed yourself and goes down into your stomach, you're going to see during spleen hour if you're going down or you're pulling that solar energy in and utilizing it to magnetize and draw in and create an abundance. People want to come and talk to you at your desk. People want to hit you up and share what's going on with them. Someone has an idea. They feel like you are such a great listener. All right? And you yourself, you feel like I connect well with people. They get me. But if on the flip side, you're always feeling like no one really understands me, I'm not feeling supported, then you have to look at some of the imbalances that may be present in the earth. Okay? So the sound that I'm hearing, right? You're like, Mother, I don't hear the sound. I'm going to tilt the camera a little bit so I can show you exactly how to hold your hands. Tilt it down towards my lap. Okay? So you're going to place your hands over your stomach. And you're going to bite your lips like this. Slowly release. Let your tongue be at the bottom of your teeth, along the gums on the inside. And you're going to say, Hoo.
I hope I see it because I didn't get a chance to go.
Hoo. Hoo.
It's like one of those places. Tourists go off their way.
Hoo. Hoo. All right. Y'all got that? Like who? 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 My stomach. But y'all got that. So it's 36 times. All right.
And they probably looked at you like.
So again, remember that you're going to be biting your lips and slowly release them, slightly open them, and then you're going to let the sound roll out. Who? Who?
Oh.
I place my right hand on first and then my left hand over my right. No specification. Just want to make sure you're relaxed. Okay? Over the stomach. All right. That pretty much sums up the spleen. Oh, someone asked me, Hey, what does it mean if you're craving sweets? This is the one where if you're really craving a lot of sweets, there's an imbalance in the earth element. Also, think about other emotions like really wanting to connect. So some people will say, oh, if you're really craving sweets, like, you missing getting some nookie. You know what I mean? Like, you need to get some sexy time. You need to feel cuddly. But more so, like, think about that. Like, yeah, cuddly, you want to be held, you want to feel connected, you want to feel connected in a deep way. This is not like the fire warmth where there's an environment where, friends are coming over and they're chit chatting, they're laughing and all that. This is more like pillow talk. This is like cuddling and getting close. The summer's over. The whole summer and spring fling and all the energy. We're going here, we're going there. This is where you start to really feel like this is who I'm going to kick it with into the fall and winter. That kind of energy. So if you're craving sweets, you're really craving that deep listening, that feeling like you're really understood on a whole nother level. And you can even think of the people in your lives that create that kind of energy for you, even if it's not intimate. But it's like I have my friends that I'm like, I know I can just go lay in their lap and just talk. All right. Another thing is you can tell someone who tends to be on the more earth element side because the way that they speak sounds like a song. And, I don't always want to put all my business out there, but I am an earth element. But it works for me because in my line of work, I create an environment where people come and they share a lot, and I'm able to empathize. I'm able to sympathize where I may not have had the experience, but I don't fake to have the experience in order to understand. Just listening deeply. And if I'm out of balance, then I will also overmother. That whole complicated relationship between being someone who creates that deep listening to over meddling, being overbearing, like mom, mind your business. Yeah. Okay. All right. So you all are. There's more important information coming. You all are doing these solar chants. You're working with Surya. You want to make sure that you're nourishing yourselves properly as well. All right. The foods are important. Cold foods can be damaging. It's too much cold foods, iced drinks, raw foods. They're not cooked. They're not processed at all. That's too harsh on the internal organs. It takes too much energy to process it. And so you'll see that there's bloating, a lot of gas and belching and just feeling uncomfortable here in the midsection after eating those kinds of foods. So for those of you who already are sensitive and you know that you may have some type of chi deficiency in the earth element, when you're making your smoothies, you don't want to take frozen fruit out of the freezer and throw them into the blender. You want to have your fruit at room temperature. All right. So if it's easier to get the frozen fruit, fine. If you know you're going to make smoothies that morning, you take those, whatever you're going to take out, leave it out on the counter, go take your shower, go get your clothes together, iron, and have your fruit ready to put in the blender and be at room temperature by the time you consume it. It's very important for you all, especially because a lot of you are practicing eating a certain way to match your mantra discipline and know that these two go hand in hand. So plan that like ahead of time. I know I'm going to go into chanting mode. You can start your morning, have your tea ready. For those of you who like to boil your tea, those hot kettles where you just plug it into the wall, perfect.
Salmon.
All right. You can just have your tea to get you started. It's warm, it's light, and it will allow you to pull in as much energy as possible. And make sure that your food, you're not doing the whole like too much raw foods that are cold and you have no assistance in breaking them down. All right. That makes sense? All right, good. Oh, thank you. C. Miller.
Why don't you
All right.
get some rest?
So I am going to go take care of the food for family out here. I'll catch up with you all. I have more for you, so I'll be back again. So keep your notebooks close by because Occult College, I have an exercise for you, and I'm going to give you your next video. We're going to talk about the lungs. Peace, love, and bliss. I love y'all. I'll catch up with you soon.